Yep. Nice. Yeah, it's been intense, huh?
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks, but I wouldn't change it.
No, neither. But it's yeah, it's like more meaningful. Higher
Mhm.
highs and lower lows. It kind of feels like.
Yeah, the highs are higher, and the lows. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it feels that way. Like one day I feel like it's all going wrong and it's just unbearable.
Hmm.
And then one day it's like the best thing, and I'm loving my routine. It's like super
Yeah,
inconsistent. I need
no,
to
that's very relatable.
get a grasp on it.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, there's like I'm like really like for me personally, I'm like super busy, and but like I'm enjoying it, and I like the what's the alternative kind of thing, you know?
yeah, exactly. It's also expected. I think that's kind of the main thing. It's like we knew this was going to be a really intense period, and we knew it's going to be hard, and especially the first few weeks, it's going to be a lot of figuring out. There's a lot of new things we're doing now with the content, building publicly, building like the info product up, marketing that. Like there's so many new elements now that we're working with. So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, and it's going to be tricky and time consuming and stressful, which is expected. But of course, we can minimize it as much as we can. And that's what I've been trying to focus on a lot this past week. I mean, we spoke about it on Saturday when we had our weekly reflection. I mentioned how I keep prioritizing work over like rest and balance, and in my mind I'm doing the right thing and it's contributing towards my goal, and it's how to say, more productive, or the intention is right, but really I'm just being very short-sighted and
Mhm.
sacrificing kind of the longer term. Of course we can consider between now and Christmas, like we we've mapped out some goals and we know it's going to be a sprint because we're trying to go
Yeah,
full time with this by Christmas. But it's like even though that's kind of still a sprint, it's across what, like 4 months, and
Mhm.
every week can't just be like a suicide week where you're just forgetting about your night
It's not
routine,
sustainable. I mean, like,
skipping. It's not. Yeah, go on.
yeah, like I said, it's not sustainable. I mean, it is like, and it goes directly against our philosophy and what we preach. Like even in the intro product itself, like
Yeah.
saying that like we know that health and prioritizing all that is going to boost your productivity in the long term, and
Mm.
that's what we preach and that's what we advertise. So we have to obviously stick to that philosophy.
Yeah, it's 100% practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, and that's what I've been really just focusing on this week, specifically things like getting, because I've been doing the 75 hard challenge, which has also been taking up so much of my mental space. And I've been trying to like automate and kind of systematize everything I don't want to think about. So things like my morning routine, my evening routine, like what I eat, what I wear, things like that, just so I can save mental energy on things that actually do matter. And I know when to relax, I know when to work. And that means when I show up to work, I'm actually present. I'm putting all my energy into it. So I don't have to be thinking, while I'm at work, okay, what little tasks and maintenance things do I need to do at the end of the day? Because I can feel that I've been so scattered with all these new commitments that it's been taking up my energy in every area. So I can't actually focus and go deep on any one task. I'm just like scattered all over the place and worrying about the next thing when really I need to be focused on what I'm doing now and just do that to the best of my ability. And yeah, that kind of shift where it's all about being present and going deep into your task at hand, is that being the best thing you can do over trying to solve every problem at once and thinking and just being in like a state of planning and overlooking.
Yeah, it's also with the
Yeah,
idea of like not doing the thing. Like if you're just constant planning and all that. I think
yeah, exactly.
yeah, being the thing about being present is it's more about the past, I would say, because you can easily get into a war where oh sure, I didn't put my hours in yesterday because like a work event came up, and then I've got to get that work done today, and that's just like it's a snowball effect that I can get the one work you want to get today done today, and
Hmm.
then that goes down tomorrow, and then it feels like your whole week is just messed up. And
Yeah,
it can
exactly.
be very easily just disincentivized into actually putting in the work.
No, and I've had there's been sort of, I don't know if it's clarity, but moments of doubt or moments of uncertainty when I'm thinking, okay, what am I doing this all for? Or like those constantly come up. Like, what am I doing this for? And also, are there other things I should be prioritizing? Um, like, what is this all kind of pointing towards? And I think we've discussed this a few times, but it's like, well, you can't do everything at once and you can't do everything. And energy is limited. And it's sort of the question, what's the one goal that's going to kind of give us 80% of what we're seeking, or what's going to reap kind of all the rewards we're going after? What is that kind of North Star in this phase of our lives? And I think it's healthy to look at it in phases. And we've discussed this kind of a lot before on a previous podcast as well. But that goal right now for us is like going full time with this,
Yeah,
essentially getting this off the ground and going full time with it, and that being the North Star makes it very digestible and very you can grasp it, and I like
yeah,
that.
that's
And I've
tangible.
kind of it's tangible, and I've forgotten that a bit. I feel like maybe this past week, because I've been thinking, I'm trying to prioritize. What am I trying to prioritize? Do I want to do this other thing? And it's like some days go by where I don't make meaningful progress on that one goal, which is the North Star. And then I think to myself, why do I not feel fulfilled right now? Why do I feel like I'm doing all these right things? I feel like I'm being active. I'm doing this. I'm trying to be present. But then if I look at it and I'm like, okay, I didn't actually make any progress towards this goal, then I'm just not doing the thing. And then I'm like, that's why I don't feel fulfilled all the time. And I think that's also something that creates the consistency with with what I was saying earlier. Those feelings of up and down, like very high highs and lower lows. It's like, if I made consistent progress on the towards this goal and focused on getting 1% better than yesterday and refining it and actually, have clarity over the projects and keep moving forward, then I think it would make that curve a lot smoother. And I've been getting distracted by things like eating, like, am I eating right? Like, what is making me feel consistent? But really, it should be focused on that goal. And then everything else kind of fades into the background, and you get a lot of peace of mind because you're putting all of your focus on one thing instead of obsessing over how can I optimize my skincare routine or my training routine and like all these other distractions, because they are distractions. If my main goal is this, like, of course they can affect it, but ultimately, if they're not detrimental or if they're not essential, then you should just be focusing on the high level actions that can move that. And then once you're putting energy into these, then sure, you can complement it with these other things. But I feel like too much of my energy is being used up in those kind of complementary tasks and commitments, and it's taking up like stress and energy when really it's not at all serving me at this point in my life, because it's very besides the focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's more like a purpose kind of thing where
Hmm.
once you know, yeah, like you said, the goal, the vision, um, you know exactly kind of what to do because it's all just going towards that one point. Yeah, and I mean it's a topic that's discussed quite a lot, like purpose and all
Hmm.
that. But
Yeah, it's a purpose thing, and it's also an identity thing, because it simplifies it a lot if you say like I feel like right now the identity of being this, like, running this fitness coaching business,
mhm,
that's like a big part of my mind, like the identity of doing this thing, but the actual action is not where it should be, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I feel like there's a gap there, considering this is meant to be a sprint. I think that from my end at least, there should be more. Like, I need to be filling up more of my mental space with the business, the foundation, instead of all these other distractions. Because right now I'm thinking, how can I fix this and how can I do that? How can I improve my diet or how can I do? It's like, forget all that. How can you make meaningful progress towards this one goal you have between now and Christmas? That should be where your mental space is put, and you'll be happier. Because right now it's like all this weight and responsibility, but I'm not doing anything about it, and that's kind of, yeah. I think that's kind of goes along with the purpose thing. It's like we took the time to set that purpose, so now I need to make sure I've got clear clarity on the actions I'm doing consistently to get there, instead of this kind of scattered workflow.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think the thing about mental real estate in time, like obviously, this you could say there's much stuff you want to do, but like you don't have the time or the mental real estate to do everything all at once. And it's with the essentialism approach where like you're not going to get all done, and focusing on one thing is often the better thing to do. And yeah, I mean, I think we've both had this issue where like we're trying to put too much into one day, and it turns out it's like you get nothing done instead of trying to do all these things. It's like that graph in the Essentialism book where it's like doing everything all at once. It's like the lines go in every direction, but they barely move, or the line that goes all the way up. And that the one that goes all the way up should be, like you said, yeah, that one goal of making
Yeah,
this a
just
full time
making
thing.
surface level progress on 10 different commitments versus
Mm-hmm.
making meaningful progress on kind of
Yeah,
one
and
commitment.
the
Yeah.
meaning doesn't sure it comes from the progress, but it's not like those other stuff. The progress is meaningful. It's more the goal that's meaningful, and
Mm-hmm.
like actually carefully choosing that goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. But if we talk specifics now, because we kind of just described, I guess, the state we're in and what we're thinking about. But
Mm-hmm.
if we talk specifics, how do you think it's been going since the launch? Because I guess that's kind of like a significant date for us. How do you think it's been going? And yeah, I guess, what do you think is going well? What do you think could be better, and so forth?
It's going well. All in all, I think it's going well. I think the main thing right now that I'm happy with is the amount of clarity we have. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty powerful because it was something that we didn't like. There was a lot of unclarity before on, for example, content, like what we were trying to point towards, or what kind of product we're trying to go after, who our clientele was, and what we're trying to like turn them into. But right now, I think we have a lot of clarity with that, and that's really powerful because it just makes everything like it's the idea that like the clarity on the vision, and so we know what we're going towards. So we know the actual steps on how to get to that point. So I think that's really powerful. And that's something that we've done pretty like we've obviously we took the summer to actually paint the picture and to plan a lot of things, and I think it's paid off quite well. Yeah, just getting a lot of clarity, allowing us to like right now it's about the sprint, it's about putting the hours in, and we know exactly what to do, so there's not much in the way. If that makes
No.
sense.
Yeah, I agree. There's no mystery
Mm-hmm.
to what we need to do. And I think we also have a lot of hope that if we do these actions, we will get the results we desire. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
there's really a mystery there. I think there doesn't seem to be much luck at play. It really does for like just executing on what we understand as of now. And I think if it's kind of like the idea that if we execute on that, then with the knowledge we have, we should be able to get 80% of the results that we want as of now. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to learn a lot during the process. We're going to iterate and pivot around. But I think if we just execute fully on everything we know right now, we should get very far with what we have. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I guess to speak specifics, I mean, I'll ask you first actually, but what do you think, like specifically, has been going well since the launch, and what do you think could be better?
Specifically what's
Slash
going well.
things we need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. um Specifically what's going well, I think I'm pretty happy with the content all throughout in terms of the actual like I'll talk yeah like I can talk content specifically. Like with the content, I'm happy with the the actual style of it and everything and how that's going. Um, and the actual workflow of it. We did that weekly architecture session a while back, and I'm sticking to that. And it's going well. I'm enjoying sitting down, writing down my LinkedIn post, or sitting down and getting.
What helped you with the weekly architecture session?
It's more how everything fits into my routine outside of the foundation, if that makes sense. Like knowing that right now I'm gonna come home, take 5 minutes to rest, and like go to this coffee shop and do my typing. Or I'm gonna wake up early this morning and do on my LinkedIn stuff, for example, like how it fits around my calendar. I think was the main thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual stuff I want to improve on, we had this call yesterday. The main thing is making it more consistent in terms of templates, and so that I can actually use it to, for example, A/B test.
For content.
Yeah, for content. Having more consistency in the templates and having multiple templates that I can alter small stuff, but like the actual coherent of the point, the explanation, the evidence, the story, stuff like that. It's all consistent in the order and stuff and all that.
Yeah, so get more structure to the creation process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you think's been going well?
I mean, you spoke, I guess, very much on the content side of things, which has been something we just kind of kickstarted again, really, properly, I'd say. I think we've obviously launched a lot of things. We've got a lot of things going on at once, but I think for me, the thing that's the most promising, or I've been surprised about or content with since we went public with the launch, was probably the amount of people we can get in touch with. I feel like we got replies just from an ambassador perspective, and also kind of a Russell Brunson Dream 100 perspective, like from marketing and who could possibly help repost and share our product and like promote it essentially. I feel like we've been able to reach out to some interesting people and get some pretty good replies. And I've also been starting with the 75 hard challenge, and of course, I'm not expecting any results for like a while. I'm going to go through with it no matter what. But in relation to how much fruit it's going to bear, I don't have any specific expectations. But of course, I do intend on putting enough effort into it where it should reap results, like undeniably reap results. And I'm essentially 2 weeks in now, and I'm pretty, I don't want to say surprised, but it's quite promising because I've been trying to focus on Copenhagen as well, and post to kind of get local reach and connections locally. And I've gotten some replies and engagement from people who could be interesting to speak to and who could promote our stuff as well. It just feels like the idea that everyone is one DM away is just even more reinforced.
Yeah, I think it's also with the clarity thing that I discussed earlier. The fact that we know exactly what to do and we know that it does work because
it works.
got evidence
Exactly.
here. So it's like, I know it's actionable. I know it's going to work. I just need to put in the hours.
Exactly. So now we know, okay, it kind of proved to us that, okay, if we have a good offer for the product, and if we're happy with the product, which we're pretty happy with, but we know there's one last change we discussed that can put into a pretty good place. But if we're happy with the product, if we have a good offer, if we have a clear sales funnel, if we've got a pretty good landing page, and we have a clearly identified niche with a long list of people who, if they reshared the post, we know that they're reaching our ideal audience and that we kind of share an audience, then if we just reach out to those people, we're in a pretty good place, and we've got traffic, we've got engagement, and we can sell. it's like we just got to go through with it now. But it's made us realize that we can just reach out to those people, and we'll be where we need to be. And for me, it's just about doing it now, really.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, it's
And
just about the hours and
yeah,
putting time in.
it's just about the time and just doing it, just going in and starting essentially. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we've been getting reviews from people as well, Trustpilot testimonials, and yeah, working on putting those on a website. And it's of course there's a lot of different gears to the process, and it takes time, but it's all very much doable, and it truly is just about going through with it. But I think for me, the biggest challenge has been having a good infrastructure, like having the infrastructure to actually stick with it, um, having the systems in place to show up on time, feel ready, get rest, like, you know, all the basics. It hasn't been, the challenge hasn't been in the work itself. It's been creating time and mental clarity for the work.
What do you think's lacking on that front then? Like, what's the missing link?
There's a few different factors. Like with work, I got very busy. I had to work overtime, and I pushed things back, and also with content, of course, it's taken me a lot of time for the 75 hard challenge as well. So that's been a bit of an obstacle, but I still did plan for this in mind. But I think it's about giving myself being quick to adapt. I think being faster to adapt, honestly, in a sense that if I planned 3 projects I want to do this week, but then on the first day I got something popped up and I basically can't get that project done, then it messes up my whole week because I'm like in this catch up game and I'm trying to squeeze things in instead of just saying, okay, this is gone. Let me try to just get 1 project done this week. Let's push this back to this, like adapting quick and being realistic with your time and saying, I've got an hour and a half. How much can I get done? This and this. That's it. Not trying to do everything in one day. So maybe being more objective with the time I have and being more responsive, I think, in that sense. So, for example, if I fall back on a project, instead of working until 10 trying to catch up and then sacrificing my sleep, that's then going to that's going to push me back the next day. That's going to make me skip my workout the next day. That's going to make me slack at work the next day and just have this terrible knock-on effect. Instead, just being accepting, okay, I don't have time for this. It's not ideal, but it's the way it is. Let me push this to another day that works better. Let me go to the gym. Let me still go to sleep at 8 and just respect the non-negotiables, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like
It's
also
kind of what
sorry, go ahead.
no, just what I said earlier, really, about prioritizing balance and prioritizing everything equally instead of sacrificing everything just to catch up on the work. Because, like, who are we doing this for? At the end of the day, it's for ourselves, and we know we don't have someone with a gun to our head telling us if we don't get it done today, we die. But it's more, we understand we're playing a longer game, so it's not being lazy or being unproductive or inefficient if you don't get the task done today and decide you're going to schedule in your next block when you have time and then like go get your workout. And if anything, you're just playing a more sustainable game and you're going long term you'll win as opposed to trying to cram it all into one day. And even ideally before you get to that problem, you're better at planning. You plan out your weeks a bit better and you understand how much time it takes for you to complete tasks, so you can actually, give yourself the time it takes. But it's also difficult to do when you haven't done these tasks before.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a lot of times as well, with that kind of thing, it's also like an ego thing because you kind of know that, yeah, I need to prioritize balance. I need to like stick to my non-negotiables. But when you reach the point where it's like, okay, I can't like risk, I can't get this work done unless I diminish my non-negotiables. It's hard to tell yourself, yeah, I want to be like less productive in the short term to boost the long term, because I mean you have to be okay with the fact that you're not going to get what you said you would get done today done, and move it to another time block to prioritize like you said, the non-negotiables. But yeah, so yeah, I think a lot of time it's an ego thing, and
it's also a pride, like a pride thing, because I don't want to come to our weekly call on Saturday and disappoint you by not having done the thing that I wanted to complete this week.
Yeah.
And I think that it's also silly to let that ruin the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we should, of course, and we do, give ourselves a time on Sunday to actually plan out the week and spread out the tasks. And then we have the Monday session where we plan out our weeks. And I think if we don't respect those, then we're also doing ourselves a disservice. And for example, if we have a set of tasks and we fail to complete them in a week, but then the next week we have a similar set of tasks and we still fail to complete them, then we're actually failing because we're not adapting and we're not identifying the problem or addressing the problem. So I think we also need to be quick to adapt to that. So if we come to a meeting, we haven't gotten it done, it's like identify, okay, what went wrong? How can we make this undeniable for next time? And just take it that way, but just make sure that we're striving for completion and not setting impossible tasks, but also recognizing the reality of the situation and making sure that we're prioritizing efficiently.
Yeah, I think it's the plan and execute, iterate kind of idea where, like the most important part there is iterating, because if you're not iterating, then it's just like this the whole time and there's just no progress being made.
No.
And it's the same with the workflow.
Exactly. But yeah, that was I think we should do some more of these internal ones.
Yeah, we
maybe
should.
more frequent. I do enjoy them a lot.
Same. Also, like for example, this one is quick.
I like this format too.
Yeah, same. It works.
As long as we can record it correctly. But I do like it. I think even you can clip these and everything. Like it's yeah, I think it's a good format.
Yeah, it is.
Authentic and simple. Does the job. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add or?
No, that's all.
Sweet. I guess one last thing we could wrap up on is maybe what do you think the focus should be moving forward now for the next few weeks? I mean, this week, but then also maybe the month or.
We brought it up before, but like I think honestly, traffic. Like we could talk about workflow and stuff like that, but I think we on a general basis we've covered that quite a lot, and we kind of know like what's on that end. But what we're actually doing specifically is trying to boost traffic. So that's through ambassador traffic, that's through Dream 100 traffic, that's through our own content, that's through even personal brands, stuff like this, like getting traffic through from Instagram to TikTok, the website to the actual end product. So we can actually get feedback on that end, and so that we can, like we said, plan, execute, iterate, and we know what's going well, what's going wrong. We can test. I want to improve this. We can test. Oh, I see that that's doing bad. I wonder why. Is it because of this? Is it because of that? And we can feedback a lot. I think that's the main thing.
And hopefully next time when we do the podcast, we can talk about our first sponsor.
Yeah,
hopefully that'd be cool. Yeah, but who would be the top 5 Dream 100 or ambassadors for you? Who do you think the top 5 would be? Top 5 ambassadors?
I think the main thing for me is focusing less on fitness guys and more on productivity guys. Because I feel like that's where the niche will be, because I think our niche and who we're actually targeting, they don't do fitness stuff that often. They do more productivity stuff, and we're trying to introduce them to the fitness stuff to boost their productivity, and that's the whole idea of the blueprint.
Smart.
So people like Chris Williamson is like peak.
Yeah, that would be yeah. Yeah. Mac Ray as well would also go crazy.
Yeah, Mac Ray,
yeah. I mean, if they promoted something like that, I think it would be.
Yeah, no, it'd be seriously.
It would be silly. I think you'd.
Yeah, Danko.
Yeah, if any of those guys posted this, like this is a great, like the routine I've been sticking to or something, you can get like their bro. that would be yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is to make it that good and brand it that well where those people do want to get involved.
Yeah.
But there's steps I think we can take to get there, and we had an interesting discussion. Maybe next time we can talk more about the product. Actually, that would be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And go into that. I think we should actually. Yeah, next time let's talk about the actual product, because we've made some changes to, or we're working on making some changes to it after a good conversation we had last time, which we can talk about, I think. And it was a nice angle. I think that would be cool to share.
Yeah,
so, we should.
I think also it'd be a nice discussion to have on the actual podcast, because there's some stuff that we wanted to bring up in the sense that, like, getting guests on and how we're doing it with us being remote and stuff like that. On our actual, what we want to talk about. That'd be a good conversation as well. We should take.
I think so too. But yeah, sweet. Let's call it a wrap then.
Yeah, that's
awesome.